November 7th, 2022. A Monday. In a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas, a young man sat staring at a bank of monitors. To the outside world, he was the golden boy. The billionaire next door, the man who was going to save the world with his fortune. He was worth $26 billion. By Tuesday, he was broke. By Friday, he was a criminal. His name was Sam Bankman-Fried. For 3 years, he held the keys to the financial universe. He didn't just run a crypto exchange. He built a machine that turned belief into billions. He seduced the smartest venture capitalists on Wall Street, the most powerful regulators in Washington, and millions of regular people who trusted him with their life savings. But this isn't just a story about greed. It's a story about a black box. A secret engine hidden in the code that allowed a group of 20-somethings to play a video game with the global economy. How did a messy math nerd from MIT fool the entire world? And more importantly, where did the $32 billion actually go? Welcome to the False Ledger. To understand the fraud, you have to understand the philosophy. Sam didn't grow up dreaming of Lamborghinis. He grew up on the campus of Stanford University. His parents, Joe and Barbara, were elite law professors. Dinner table conversations weren't about sports or movies. They were about utilitarianism. It's a philosophical equation, the greatest good for the greatest number. If you can save 1 million people, by sacrificing one, you don't just do it. You are morally obligated to do it. This rewired Sam's brain. He began to see the world not as a place of people and laws, but as a series of probability calculations. Expected value. If a coin flip has a 51% chance of winning the world and a 49% chance of destroying it, Sam would flip the coin every single time, because the math says you should. So in 2014, Sam landed at MIT. He was brilliant, socially awkward, and bored. He didn't care about physics. He wanted to figure out how to maximize his impact. He met a group called Effective Altruist. They told him, "Don't work at a charity. Go to Wall Street, make $1 billion, then give it all away." So he went to Jane Street Capital. Jane Street isn't a normal bank. It's a firm of quant traders, math geniuses who bet on tiny fluctuations in global markets. Here, Sam learned the art of arbitrage. Arbitrage is the only way to make risk-free money. It means buying an apple in London for $1 and instantly selling it in New York for $2. You don't predict the price of apples. You just exploit the difference. Sam was a prodigy at this. He learned to spot these inefficiencies, trade them in milliseconds, and pocket the difference. But more importantly, Jane Street taught him to be numb to risk. They played games where they would bet on anything: the weather, coin flips, what someone would order for lunch. Sam learned that money wasn't something to be cherished or saved. It was just ammunition, high scores in a video game. In 2017, Sam looked at the chaotic, unregulated world of Bitcoin and saw the ultimate arbitrage. He noticed something strange. Bitcoin was trading at $10,000 in the United States, but in Japan and South Korea, it was trading at $11,000 or even $15,000. It was called the Kimchi Premium. Because of strict capital controls, people in Korea couldn't easily move money out to buy cheap Bitcoin abroad. The market was stuck. Anyone could see the price difference, but nobody could execute the trade. The banking logistics were a nightmare. You needed Japanese bank accounts. You needed intermediaries. You needed to move millions of dollars across borders daily without getting frozen. This is where Sam shined. He wasn't just a trader. He was a relentless problem solver. He flew to Japan. He bypassed the giant firms and built his own private tunnel through the banking system. He figured out how to wire the money. When Wall Street giants couldn't, he moved up to $25 million a day. Buying in the US, selling in Japan, clicking a mouse and making 10% profit instantly. It was the perfect trade, but it did something dangerous to his ego. It convinced him that the impossible was just a puzzle he hadn't solved yet. It convinced him that he was smarter than the system. With his arbitrage winnings, Sam founded Alameda Research, his own hedge fund. But trading is hard, and soon, the easy trades like the Kimchi Premium dried up. Alameda started losing money. Sam didn't want to stop. He wanted to go bigger. So in 2019, he launched FTX, the Futures Exchange, a place where regular people could trade crypto. Now, Sam had two entities. One, FTX, the bank which holding customer money. Two, Alameda, the hedge fund which gambling the money. This is where he invented the Flywheel. This is the engine of the fraud. Listen closely, because this is how you create billions out of thin air. Step 1. Sam creates a digital token called FTT. It costs him literally nothing. Just a line of code. Step 2. He keeps millions of these tokens for himself, but sells a tiny amount to the public to establish a price. Let's say $40 a coin. Step 3. Now on paper, Sam has millions of tokens worth $40 each. His company looks incredibly rich. Step 4. And this is the trick. He takes these made-up tokens to other lenders and says, I have billions in assets. Give me a loan of real US dollars. And they did. He used a printer to make FTT, and he traded that paper for real cash. He took that real cash and bought real estate. He bought politicians. He bought influence. He called it a flywheel, because as long as the price of FTT went up, he could borrow more, buy more, and hype the price even higher. It works perfectly until the wheel stops spinning. This operation wasn't run from a boardroom in New York. It was run from a $35 million penthouse in the Bahamas called the Albany. Inside, it was like a college dorm room that never grew up. And now Sam lived with 9 other people. They were his executives, his friends, and his lovers. There was Gary Wang, the silent architect who wrote the code. There was Nishad Singh, the engineer who handled the political donations. And there was Caroline Ellison. Caroline was the CEO of Alameda Research. She was a math whiz from Stanford. And she was Sam's on and off girlfriend. She was the one tasked with the impossible job, making the math work when it was clearly broken. While Sam was on the cover of Forbes, playing the role of the visionary, Caroline was in the background, watching the debt pile up. They used a chat app called Signal. They set the messages to auto-delete. They knew what they were doing was risky, but Sam convinced them it was for the greater good. And if they could just hold on, if they could just win the next bet, they could pay everyone back, and save the world. May 2022, the music stopped. A popular crypto project called Terra Luna collapsed overnight. It wiped out $60 billion from the crypto economy. Panic spread. Lenders started recalling their loans. Alameda Research had borrowed billions of real dollars to make bad bets. Now, the banks wanted their money back. But Alameda didn't have the cash. They only have the made-up FTT tokens, which were crashing in value. Alameda was bankrupt. Sam didn't choose bankruptcy. He chose theft. He told Gary Wang to tweak the code. He told Caroline to take the money. They siphoned $8 billion of customer funds from FTX and sent it to Alameda to pay off the lenders. They plugged the hole in the sinking ship with gold stolen from the passengers. For 6 months, they kept the secret. But on November 2nd, 2022, a balance sheet leaked. Then the rival struck. CZ, the CEO of Binance, hated Sam. He saw the weakness. On November 6th, CZ tweeted, "We are liquidating our FTT." It was a bank run. In the digital age, a bank run doesn't happen in a line on the street. It happens at the speed of light. Customers rush to withdraw. 1 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion. Sam sat in the penthouse, watching the liquidity drain to zero. He desperately tried to raise money. He called the Saudis. He called Wall Street. He even called CZ. But nobody catches a falling knife. On Twitter, Sam typed the most infamous lie in financial history. FTX is fine. Assets are fine. It was the last gasp of the illusion. When the dust finally settled, the $32 billion fortune didn't just disappear. It was revealed to be a hallucination. It was never really there. The real estate was sold off. The tokens became worthless digital dust. The political influence evaporated the moment the checks bounced. But the tragedy isn't just about the money. It's about the people. In the end, Sam didn't just bankrupt a company. He bankrupted his friends. Gary Wang, Nishad Singh, Caroline Ellison, they weren't hardened criminals. They were math geeks. They were the kids who sat at the back of the class. They followed Sam because he promised them they could solve the world. Instead, he led them off a cliff. One by one, they took the witness stand. They wept. They apologized. They looked at the man they once loved, the man they lived with, and they pointed the finger. Caroline, the girl who wrote in her diary about wanting to be good enough for Sam, was left with a felony record and a broken life. Gary and Nishad avoid prison time, but they carry a life sentence of shame. The polycule was destroyed, not by the FBI, but by the truth. And that is the haunting reality of the false ledger. Sam and his friends looked at the global economy and didn't see families, or pensions, or life savings. They just saw numbers. They saw a high score on a screen. They were children playing with a loaded gun, convinced it was a toy. They treated reality like a simulation, a video game where you can just respawn if you die. But the real world doesn't have a reset button. Today, Sam Bankman-Fried sits in a federal prison. The penthouse is gone. The private jets are gone. The crowd cheering his name is gone. He wanted to play the infinite game. He wanted to be the main character of history. But as the cell door slams shut, he is left with the one thing he spent his whole life running away from: silence, and the realization that this was never a game. One ledger closes, another opens. This is the false ledger. Subscribe to see what's next.